Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn and Cancer connection reading, and this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take what does. If it does not, leave what does not, as that may be meant for someone else. All right. So we're going to get some romance angels. We're going to look at what you may possibly be struggling with, what you may need to look at, and possible future energies between Capricorn and Cancer. What are you struggling with? Give your relationship a chance, okay? What do you need to look at? What do you need to look at in your relationship? Trust. Ooh, trust is a big one. Future energies for Capricorn and Cancer. Calling in your soulmate, and I'm kind of feeling this one too. Getting to know each other. Okay, so what you may possibly be struggling with is giving your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. What you need to look at is trust. I feel like the trust has to start within yourself and looking at that trust with your partner. Future energies, calling in your soulmate and getting to know each other, but I feel like it's kind of bringing this relationship to a higher level when you work on these things, when you give your relationship a chance, when you look at trust. If there's trust issues, what are those trust issues? Is it within yourself? Is it from past relationships? Or did that person do something, or they made you feel a certain way? Has there been communication to work through that? And I feel like calling in your soulmate is making a stronger connection with this person because you're exploring these things, you're looking into trust, you're giving your relationship a chance. Is it before that you would just give up? You would get to a certain point within a relationship and then you would give up because you're like, oh, there's trust problems. And then it's like you're repeating those patterns and you keep, you start a new relationship and it kind of has the, that good feeling in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it gets to that same point again, and then you're having trust issues, and it's like this cycle. But it's like hanging in there and working through things is what builds the relationship, because no relationship is perfect. You're going to have those ups and downs. You're going to have those moments where there are trust issues, but you have to look at what is the base of the trust issue. All right, so let's get some more tarot for Capricorn and Cancer. What are they struggling with? Queen of Swords. Give your relationship a chance, and I kind of feel like that's the Queen of Swords, is finding those solutions, right? What else for Capricorn and Cancer? Struggling with. What else do we have? All right. We have Eight of Cups and we have Six of Pentacles. Sharing, communicating. You're struggling with finding a way to let things go. You're holding on to something. You're holding on to emotional feelings, right? These Eight of Cups. You're holding on to those. Sometimes when we feel like we're in protective mode and we want to protect ourselves, is that we will hold on to little tidbits of times and situations where that person has hurt us or let us down, so that way when that person does it again, we can throw that back in their face. So instead of working on that, working through it, communicating, right? Six of Pentacles is sharing, and to me that also I feel that it represents communication, going back and forth, because this person is handing out to this other person, is that communication going back and forth, that, okay, instead of me holding on to these Eight of Cups, that I need to work through this and I need to communicate. So you're having trouble with communication, you're holding on to things, and you're not able to find solutions on how to get past it and give your relationship a chance. All right, so Capricorn and Cancer, trust. What other messages do we have for Capricorn and Cancer? Okay, so we have Queen of Wands, and then we have the Six of Wands, and then we have the Hierophant. So I feel like it's kind of building trust. So trust is building that solid foundation, that you have something to work with, that you know that if that person does something to hurt you or bother you, that you will see it as, okay, maybe that person's having a bad day, or they didn't mean to say that, or that you know within yourself that that person would not do something to hurt you, but that's something that you have to work on, and you have to build that trust, right? Six of Wands is success and victory. Queen of Wands is kind of taking those actions as to achieve success and victory, and the Hierophant is having that solid foundation, that base, that trust within the relationship. But then you also have to look at, okay, building that trust within yourself is trusting yourself that you are with the right person and that person isn't going to hurt you, and that if you're going back to past relationships or situations because you're like, well, I want to put up walls because I don't want to get hurt, that you're kind of looking at that within yourself, right? You're finding those answers and those solutions as to if you're having trust issues, if it's not to do with that person, or you projecting past relationships and situations to the current situation. All right, so future energies for Capricorn and Cancer. We have 8 of Swords. We have Page of Swords. Dealing with difficult situations and not holding yourself back anymore, right? Getting to know each other. All right, and then a whole stack came over, but I'm just going to take the Empress. The Empress represents growth. It represents evolution. It represents changing. It represents building those relationships. It can represent marriage. It can represent birth. I feel like it's that further commitment and, again, getting to know each other. And I feel like that's what these results are, is that, yeah, you're going to have to handle some difficult situations and not hold yourself back from those. That if there's something that's bothering you, if there's something that's getting to you, that you address it, that you don't hold on to it and let it build up into this 8 of Cups, that you address it. Yeah, it's not fun talking about those difficult things or those hard things or those, you know, those situations, but it's like if you can let that go, you're not carrying that forward and you're releasing that. And I'm looking at this dove here and I feel like that represents freedom. It's like, you know, I can let that go. I'm not going to be holding on to all of these things anymore. Bottom of the deck, 4 of Cups. She's focusing on the 3 spilt cups. There's a lot of waves. There's a lot of emotions. It's very choppy, but there's this cup that's coming in, which is overflowing, and that's what you have to work on. That's what you have to let go of, is these 3 cups here. But focus on this opportunity, right? Looking towards the positive, that if this is a relationship that you want to continue and you want to build and you want to have that trust and you want to have that connection and you really want to get to know each other more, that's something that you have to commit to within yourself, that, okay, I'm going to try harder. I'm going to look at those weak spots that I have. I'm going to look at those things that I'm holding on to. And I'm going to work on those. I'm going to address those. I'm going to handle those harder situations, and I'm going to work through it. And then we look at this. We have the 6 of Wands, which is success and victory and rising above a situation and seeing that there really is support for you within this relationship. That maybe you were just looking at the negative. Maybe you were looking at what wasn't happening instead of looking at what was happening and the positive within the relationship. Sometimes when we have those insecurities within ourselves, we're just looking for those negative or those things to verify our insecurity, because we're like, okay, I'm feeling insecure, so now I'm going to look for all of those things within this person in this relationship that will validate my insecure feelings. Or if I'm not trusting, I'm going to look for those things that I can use as, okay, to verify that not trusting feeling. But if you're focusing on the positive and you're saying, yes, I want to work through this and I'm feeling positive and I know this person is here to support me, look for those things where that person is showing their support towards you, right? We have the 5 of Cups and turning things around, crossing that bridge, right? Letting those go, letting what went, letting go what you need to let go of and not looking back at it and turning around and moving in a different direction. Knight of Pentacles, right? So it's almost like this horse is moving this way. This person's trying to look that way, but if this person just turns around, then they're moving this way, right? The Knight of Pentacles, they're moving away from that. Knight of Pentacles is that slow, steady progress to good, positive things and happy things coming in and good things coming in. Trust. Right, there's been a lot of heartbreak for you. There's been a lot of heartbreak within past relationships. There's always going to be. Always going to be. There's always, you know, it's with everything. It's with every relationship. Relationships that you have with your family, with your friends, with your partners, at work, even with your pets, right? Sometimes it's like, you know, your pet chews your favorite pair of shoes and you feel that hurt and that let down and you're like, you know, why did you do that? And, You know, it's just like that's a part of life, but that's how do you handle that Three of Swords? Do you let that consume you? Do you let that engulf you? And do you stay in that, right? Do you look for more reasons to keep yourself in that Three of Swords, or do you look for those things to rise above it, right? The Six of Wands, rising above a situation, looking for those things. Do you tear that down? We have the Tower, which is tearing that down and saying, okay, yeah, these things are going to happen, but I'm going to rebuild it. I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to make those changes. I'm going to let things go. King of Cups is somebody who just lets things go, lets it ride. Sometimes we feel like we're more in control if we hold on to everything, but that if we're holding on to everything, we're carrying all this burden on our back, and it's like, I got to let that go. I just got to let it go. This also could represent the Cancer sign, because he's someone who lets it go, lets it roll off his back. You know, sometimes we can get frustrated if, you know, because Capricorn is kind of somebody who holds on to everything, and, you know, kind of, I'm a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising. So yeah, I used to have a habit of, I held on to everything, and I, you know, every little thing, and it was like I was carrying this all on my back. And King of Cups is someone who more lets things go. And sometimes we look at that, you know, I would look at that person and be like, how can you do that? How can you let those things go? How do you let that roll off your back? You seem like you have less stress and your life seems lighter. And here I am carrying all this on my back. And I feel like that's same with this, is looking at that and saying, okay, yeah, I just got to let some things roll off my back. And when I started doing that, things became so much better, right? Nine of Pentacles, more rewarding, that you're focusing more on the positive instead of carrying around all these negative things, right? Carrying around all of this stress, carrying around, worrying about those things that you don't need to worry about, staying up and thinking about things that really aren't doing any good for you, that's just creating more stress for yourself. Seven of Wands, it's about standing up for yourself, focusing on you, realizing those things that you need to let go of, realizing those things that you need to focus on, working on you first. Sometimes when we're in relationships, we still have to look out for ourselves. We still have to make sure we're making choices best for ourselves. We have to look at that subconscious. What are we telling ourselves? Again, are we looking for those signs to validate if we feel hurt or let down or disappointed? Are we looking for that? Or are we looking for signs for that validation for this Nine of Pentacles, things that make us happy, building that trust, getting to know the other person, focusing on growing the relationship, right? Looking for those things rather than these things here. All right, bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Wands charging forward. How are you going to approach that? What are those things that you're going to do? It's not only thinking about those things that need to be done or you need to look at, but it's also taking those actions to make it happen. If you say, I'm not going to hold on to this Eight of Cups, that I'm not going to focus on this Three Spilled Cups, that I'm going to focus on moving forward in this Nine of Pentacles, then you have to take those actions to show it, right? You have to rise above the situation. I feel like once you can work through these things, I feel like this relationship is really going to evolve into something that's very strong. And I feel like it's the relationship that you're looking for, right? It's that calmness, it's that easiness, it's that rewards within this relationship. I feel that the potential is there for you, but I also feel that there are things that you have to realize of what you need to focus on within yourself. What are those energies that you're projecting? What are those energies that you're looking for, right? Are you looking for the negative or you're looking for the positive? All right, so let's close out with a romance, heart-shaped romance angel card. All right, those two popped out. So let's grab these. We have transformation. I love it. Your relationship with one another is about to deepen. That's exactly what I was saying. That's exactly what I just said. Love conquers and transforms all things. And that's what I was feeling, that there is that possibility for that. All right, we have acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times we must accept things as they are. There is no point trying to change that which is beyond our control. And I feel like that goes to the Nine of Swords, is that, No point trying to change that which is beyond our control, because worrying about it and stressing about it is not going to help us. It's going to hurt us. So I love those two cards. Those are perfect. That's a perfect overall of what this reading is about, is that transformation. Deepening the relationship, seeing those changes with those things within yourself and the other person, and communicating and working things out and letting things go, dealing with the more difficult things to transform this relationship, which I feel will build a trust and will really elevate the relationship. All right. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.